testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
And Ms. Margot, you represent Ms. Jimenez?
I do.
Okay. The court notes that Mr. Molinero was served January 3rd of 2024. Well, I think it was. Let me see. We had old order. Excuse me. Yeah, January 3rd of 2025. And it looks like we did some temporary orders last time. Or maybe that was a year ago. A couple years ago. Okay, so I guess we're doing actually a modification here. Okay. All right. Go ahead, proceed, Ms. Correa.
Your Honor, the state and the mother's attorney have come to a full agreement. The terms of the agreement are voluminous, but I will read them into the record. And I'm sure Ms. Margot will clean it up for me if I get something wrong. The first agreement is that we are seeking to establish the parentage of one additional child, Jamie Liana Jimenez. The mother is not requesting DNA testing or a name change for this child. We're asking that, like the other children, the parties are in agreement that sole managing conservatorship be the conservatorship awarded for this child, and for the mother to designate the primary residence in Dallas and contiguous county. There is no insurance available at a reasonable cost. So this parties are requesting that Medicaid be ordered today. The state did receive some information regarding the father's employment. And as such, we are proposing and are in agreement for medical support to be set at $200 a month and child support to be set at $731 a month starting March 1st, 2025. We have also come into an agreement to confirm child support arrears and adding some retroactive. Combine the total judgment should be $5,352.18. That again is arrears, child support arrears, and retroactive calculations for the child that we're adding. The amount is $5,352.18, as mentioned previously, to be paid at $77 a month beginning March 1st, 2025. For the court's assistance, retroactive was calculated since the child's birth to now, and the parties were given credit for some time that they lived together. So those calculations were done thoroughly. We are seeking to confirm medical support arrears in the amount of $390.23 to be paid off at $20 a month starting March 1st, 2025. There is no allegation of family violence that's being presented. There is not a request for non-disclosure. There is an agreement by the state to the mother's modified visitation schedule. As to the son, to keep the standard possession order from the 2023 order. As to the daughter, the mother is requesting no visitation schedule right now because the father has not been involved, doesn't acknowledge that. There is an alternate proposition in case that the court does not find that in the best interest of the child. That is the extent of the agreements. I will call the mother. Ma'am, can you state your name for the record?
Yes, Pamela Jimenez.
And ma'am, can you state the name of all the children in your case?
Jonathan Sebastian Molinero and Jamie Liana Jimenez.
Okay, and which is the child that we're adding to the case today?
Jamie Liana Jimenez.
And both of the children live with you?
Yes.
And ma'am, what are the ages of the children?
Jonathan is 3, and then Jamie Liana, she just turned 10 months.
Okay, and ma'am, for Jamie, are you requesting DNA?
No,
Ma'am, when Jamie was born, were you married to anyone else?
no,
Okay, when she was conceived, were you married to anybody else?
no.
Okay. And ma'am, did you hear all of the agreements that I read into the record?
Yes,
Are those still your agreements?
yes.
I do want to ask you, tell me a little bit more or explain in your words, why the father should not have visitation with the daughter in this case.
Um, Whenever she was like 3 months old, he told me, he's like, that's not even my daughter. Um, until we get a DNA test, I don't acknowledge her as my daughter. Um, I need to see a DNA test before that. And then he said he will acknowledge her.
Okay, is that your only reason?
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't ask for her or anything like that. He doesn't ask
Okay,
to see her or anything like that.
okay. I will pass this witness.
All right, Ms. Margot, go ahead.
Um, Ms. Jimenez, since you said she was about 3 months old, has Jonathan seen her at all?
No,
Okay. Um, does she know who he is? Like, would she
no,
recognize him if she saw him?
no.
Do you have concerns about the safety of a baby or a young child in Mr. Jimenez's home? Or I'm sorry, in Mr. Molinaro's home?
A little bit.
Um, do you know, does he live with his girlfriend?
He does.
And how many children do they have combined?
Combined without the baby, it's 5.
Okay. Do you have concerns about the level of care even that your son receives over there?
Yes.
Okay. Tell the court a little bit about that.
So a couple of months ago, he told me that um my son burned his hand with an iron. He was like, I don't know how it happened. I just know that he burned himself. I left the iron on and I walked away. And whenever I came back, he was crying that he burned his hand. Um, Once I also picked him up and he had a bruise on his eye, on his face. I asked him what happened. He said he didn't know. He didn't even notice until I told him about it. And
Okay.
then even at daycare, they tell me, they're like, whenever he comes back really crying a lot, whining a lot. And like he's saying that he's scared, things like that.
Okay. Do you think that it would be safe for your daughter to go into that home?
Not right now.
Okay. Are you asking the court to order no visitation until your daughter's father makes himself available to the court to have a hearing and put on his own evidence and testimony?
Correct.
And do you believe that's necessary to protect your daughter?
Yes.
Okay. Um, and then also in the time that your daughter's been here, has her father helped you with money at all?
No.
Okay. Um, I pass a witness.
Okay. All right. The default proposals are all fine with me. They'll be part of the court order. Um, I mean, I don't like the visitation order that's been proposed, but that's, I guess, what we'll do for now. I mean, um, many of the cases that I see are people that cannot afford attorneys. I don't know that he can afford an attorney to come back to court, maybe 2, 3, 5, 10 years from now to set up a visitation order. And so my fear, of course, is that this daughter will never be able to visit her father under this order. So I'm going to grant your request, but uh, we don't usually have people come back to court to modify visitation orders. So that's going to be relying upon you, Ms. Jimenez, to figure something out with the father outside of court, or you're going to depend on him to hire an attorney, which it doesn't sound like he would since he didn't even show up for court today. I doubt that he would hire an attorney to do that. So what we're really talking about is the daughter not having any right to visit her father. That's really the way I look at it. When we talk about that, I don't really look at the father's losing rights. I look at it more that the daughter's losing rights. I understand it's a 10-month-old child, so that's a little different, and that's kind of why I'm persuaded to agree with what the proposal is. But if we were talking about an older child, and a lot of those things can be fixed pretty easily. When the child is 3 or 4, child's going to go be with somebody 8 hours a day that they never met before, and you're going to do it 5 days a week, and that's going to be their teacher. And so that really, and having to know someone isn't really a requirement for visitation or for the child to be with somebody. So I hope that you can figure something out with the deaf father. Um, Obviously, we aren't doing DNA testing here, and we're never going to do DNA testing unless y'all do something privately. Um, it's again very unlikely he's probably going to participate, but I just don't think it should be permanent. But I can't control what people do in the future, so um, that's why I just encourage you maybe later on to work something out with the father, should he choose to want to step up and be the father. Um, 10 months sometimes is not enough time to know that, because I don't know there may be other issues that are unrelated to the daughter that may be the reasons why. I don't know. But okay, so I'm going to grant all that, and court calls bill to the father. The Attorney General's office will draft an order, email you a copy, and that'll be it. This will be a final order. Ms. Margot, have you already talked to the prior attorney about them sending you the proposed order before they submit it to me?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, then, y'all are excused. You can press leave on the Zoom to exit out. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.